Hi there, today we are going to be reviewing Fables. Okay, so here's some examples of some fables we've read in the past. The Boy Who Cried Wolf is a fable, and The Tortoise and the Hare is a fable. Let's go over the different characteristics of a fable. Fables are fictional stories. Go ahead and take a moment. What does fictional mean? Think about that. Fictional. Fictional stories are stories that are made up. They're not real. They're fake. These stories are normally short, meaning that it's not going to take you hours to read these stories. If they're short, you can read in about 5 to 10 minutes. They were written a long time ago. So the author who came up with these different fables, they wrote these stories a long, long time ago. Not last week, not a month ago, or a year ago, a long time ago. Most of these fables you're going to see retold by so-and-so. Retold means that this person got the story, The Boy Who Cried Wolf, and retold it again, but a little bit different. The author usually changes a few things here and there. Okay? So, the next thing is the characters in a fable are usually animals that act like humans. So, The Boy Who Cried Wolf, we don't really see animals that act like humans. But right here, the tortoise and the hare, they're racing and they're talking and they are acting like humans. And the story from yesterday, the grasshoppers and the ants, those characters also act like humans as well. Okay? The setting is typically outside. So that's true for these two stories right here. The Boy Who Cried Wolf takes place outside. The tortoise and the hare takes place outside. Not all the time, but typically, that's why it says typically, so for the most part. And then the story teaches a moral lesson. That is a big thing for fables. The story teaches a moral lesson. What is a moral lesson? We talked about it a little bit yesterday. A moral lesson is something that the reader can take away from the story. You learn something. For example, The Boy Who Cried Wolf. What did we learn from that story? What was the moral lesson? You shouldn't lie, right? If you lie and lie and lie, when you finally are telling the truth, are they going to believe you, the person you're telling? Probably not. So it's always best to tell the truth. Okay, on the next little slide, I'd like to fill out a little graphic organizer over yesterday's fable that we read together. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, this is just like the graphic organizer that we filled out the other day. Okay, so find the proof. Fables. So the fable that we are talking about is the one from yesterday, the grasshopper and the ants. So right here we have main characters, problem and solution. Remember, solution is the same thing as resolution. Moral or lesson. What do we, the reader, take away from the story? So, main characters. Main characters are who? I'll give you a minute to think about it. Grasshopper and the ants. Those are the two main characters. Okay. Now, what was the problem in the story? There's something that the grasshopper did that wasn't right. I'm going to give you a moment to think about it. Okay. One problem that I think it's big to write down is the grasshopper did not do his fair share of work with the ants. Remember that? Whenever the season was about to change and the ants were trying to prepare and they were getting ready and they were working, and the grasshopper, he didn't want to help, did he? So that was a problem. He didn't want to do his fair share of work. And there's another problem in the story. Whenever the grasshopper is outside, he's cold, and that is a problem. But this is the one I want to write down. Grasshopper did not do his fair share of work with the ants. Okay? That was a problem. Okay? I'm going to give you a moment to think about the resolution. How was this problem fixed? How was it resolved? What happened? Okay, Well, the queen ant forgave the grasshopper and gave him another chance. You remember when she gives him some tea and lets him inside and, you know, all is fixed? Okay, now the most important thing is, what was the moral or lesson of the story? I'm going to give you a moment to think about it. We talked about it yesterday, so try to think back to yesterday's story. Okay, so there were two morals or lessons that we learned. So first, it was, what did the grasshopper learn from the ants? Do you remember that? What did the grasshopper learn from the ants? Well, the grasshopper learned that it is important to do your share of the work. So that's the first lesson, moral, that we the reader can take away. Think about this example. What if you and your brother or sister made a mess in the living room and you were asked by your parents to clean it up? Would it be fair if just you cleaned it up? No. It's important that you both do the work, right? It's both your mess, both of you share the work. Okay, that was the first lesson. Next one is, so what did the ants learn from the grasshopper? So we talked about the grasshopper learned from the ants. Now what did the ants learn from the grasshopper? I'm going to give you a moment to think about it. Well, the ants learned that it is okay to have some fun after working hard. So the ants kept working, and the grasshopper just wanted to have fun. Now they both need to learn a lesson. The ants can work really hard, but then they can also have a little bit of fun afterwards, right? And then the grasshopper learned that, okay, I need to do my work, do my fair share of work, and then I can have some fun. So we learned two morals of this lesson. That's why I like the story so much, because you get two lessons that you learn. All right, I hope you enjoyed today's little review over Fables.